One of the reasons you're getting burnt out is because you have slow recovery time, meaning you don't get over things fast enough. One of the biggest reasons why most successful people wear the same clothes all the time is because they want to avoid making too many decisions so they can maintain that willpower for tougher decisions and tougher tasks. Make sense? Get systematized. Have systems in place. If you can get what you want to wear the next day ready the night before, that takes away that time of negotiating on what you should wear. Yes or no? Okay. If you make a decision that I'm definitely going to go to the gym the night before, you don't need to negotiate in the morning anymore. Just pick up your bag and go. Avoid unnecessary negotiation. If it's a good idea and it's gonna help you improve, just do it. Now let's talk about how to avoid burnout and what causes burnout. And in this one, we're gonna explain how you can recover and avoid it. Ideally, we wanna avoid it. Here are the main causes of burnout. Spending too much time on 80% activities versus 20% activities. Let me explain what this is. 80% of the things that you do only produce 20% of the results. 20% of what you do produces 80% of results in anything you do. If you spend the majority of your time on the 80% that only produce 20% of results, are you gonna have a lot of results? Or you're gonna put in a lot of work, right? Okay, that causes a big burnout for a lot of people. If you're spending all your time doing admin work, dealing with non-committed team members, trying to convince them, or non-committed people trying to convince them, over planning, all of this stuff can create burnout because you think you should get results for it because you're like, I've been spending so much time convincing John. Why am I not getting rich yet? Right? I've been spending so much time with admin work. Why haven't they paid me millions yet? And that frustration makes it more like you're gonna get burnt out. Make sense? But if you work less but put all that work in the 20%, that doesn't happen. If you work less but you put all that work into the right activities, that usually won't happen. Does that make sense? So the first thing is avoid doing the things that don't pay that much. By the way, this also relates to your everyday life. There's some individuals here that do 100 things. You gotta learn to plan better and delegate better. Plan better, and some things you might not be able to delegate, but if you plan better, you can handle it more efficiently. But whatever you can delegate, please delegate. You know what delegation means? It means getting someone else to do the thing that they can do so you don't have to do it. Cool? Here's the next thing, and this one is probably the biggest one. Internal drama. Negotiating constantly with yourself over what you should or shouldn't do. You have a certain amount of willpower every day, okay? Look, your energy throughout the day is limited. Your willpower is limited. One of the biggest reasons why most successful people wear the same clothes all the time is because they want to avoid making too many decisions so they can maintain that willpower for tougher decisions and tougher tasks. Make sense? Now imagine you wake up in the morning and your mind is, should I go to the gym or should I not go to the gym? So you spend 15, 20 minutes negotiating with yourself back and forth whether you should go to the gym or not. Eventually, you force yourself to go. How much willpower did you use there? A lot. Then you go to the gym. Should I go on the treadmill today or should I just do weights? Oh, I just want to do weights. Right? Then you negotiate about what kind of workout you should do. Yes? That takes a lot more willpower. By the time you come out of the gym, you're already kind of exhausted. Then you're like, what should I wear today? Should I wear? Then you spend another 30 minutes deciding on what you wear. Then you get started. Should I invite this person? Should I message them? Should I call them? Should I go? All these decisions, most of you make more decisions than Fortune 500 CEOs do. And they can Jeff Bezos said, I have 3 decisions to make every day and that's it. Some of you have 300 decisions to make every day. And that's why you're so stressed and overwhelmed. Well, what's the solution for this? Get systematized. Have systems in place. If you can get what you want to wear the next day ready the night before, that takes away that time of negotiating on what you should wear. Yes or no? Okay. If you make a decision that I'm definitely going to go to the gym the night before, you don't need to negotiate in the morning anymore. Just pick up your bag and go. Avoid unnecessary negotiation. If it's a good idea and it's going to help you improve, just do it. The Nike commercial is the best motivational video you ever need to watch. Just do it. That's it. Put it on the back of your phone. Just do it. And as soon as the idea comes and it's a good idea, just do the idea. Make sense? Okay. Here's the next thing. Negative thoughts and self-talk. Some of you, when I say some of you, that includes me, by the way, but now I've gotten really good at this. I don't have this problem anymore. I would say as of 4 years ago, I eliminated this from my life. But you beat yourself up all day and you wonder why you're so down all the time and negative all the time. If I sent someone to your house, every morning they knocked on, they said, hello, how are you, John? Good to see you. I'm gonna follow you today and I'm gonna just shit on you all day, okay? Sorry, who sent you? Don't worry about it. I'm here to help you ruin your life. You're a loser. What? Just wanted to remind you you're a loser. Okay, cool. You're getting ready. What's the point of getting ready? No one likes you anyway. Cool, great, thank you. I'm gonna call my mentor. Why do you wanna waste your mentor's time? He's got a lot of better people to talk to than you. Okay, great, this is great messaging for me. Go to the gym. Go to the gym for what? You've been going for 3 months. What have you gone? Look at you. You're fat. You're skinny. What's the point of going to the gym? You're never gonna change. Wow, this is great. All day this happens. All day this happens for many people. And they go, I just don't know why I have so much depression and anxiety. If that person was following you around, you wouldn't? I remember in middle school, high school, I had people making fun of me, and that was very tough. And they left after 3 p.m. You don't even leave you alone before bed. It's nighttime. Your day sucked today. I am. Another shitty day for you. Can't wait to wake up tomorrow to spend more time with you. Negative thoughts and self-talk drain you. They create stress for you. There's some people that come to these sessions and they have team members the whole time. I wonder if my team members like this. Do they like this? Oh, Nima made a bad joke. I hope they're not offended. And then I hope they are and they quit so they leave you alone. Right? But the problem is it's not them, it's you that's the problem. Right? Get out of your head, right? Be in the moment. Stop allowing yourself. Here's the thing. If I send that person to your house, how long would you wait before you punch them in the face? Think about it. If I send that person to your house, how long would you wait before you punch them in the face? Some of you are more patient. You wait a couple hours. Maybe they'll change. And then you punch them. Some of you will punch them right away. Why don't you do that with yourself? I'm not saying punch yourself. Disclaimer. I get a disclaimer. I don't want to get sued. No one physically harm yourself. But I'm saying set boundaries for yourself the way you set for other people. If somebody made fun of you every time you saw them, you would stop seeing them. Set boundaries. Don't allow yourself to bring you down. Be a good friend to yourself. Don't be an enemy to yourself. Most people are an enemy to themselves. You need to have a conversation with you, sit down and be like, listen, we're on the same team, right? And get on the same page and be positive. I'm telling you, and I have a video on YouTube, I think you guys should all go watch it if you haven't, about self-talk. Go watch that and change the self-talk, change the way you coach yourself. And the only reason the negativity is happening is because it's a habit. Because you've gotten used to talking to yourself that way, you don't even notice it most of the time. I'm telling you, 90% of people don't even notice how negative they are with themselves. Here's my advice to you. For 1 week, write down all the thoughts that you have and all the things you say to yourself. For 1 week. At the end of the week, do an assessment. Ask yourself, does this sound like a friend or does it sound like an enemy? Because if you're an enemy to yourself, you gotta change. If you're a friend, good, you're on the right track. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Here's another one, which is similar to what we talked about, but it's more to do with everything now. It's being a victim. Feeling like the world is against you. Feeling like everything is against you. Feeling like everything that happens so that it hurts you or it makes you. Isn't that exhausting? If you think everyone hates you, isn't that an exhausting life to live? If you think God is against you, you're living on his planet. That's a pretty tough person to be an enemy of, right? But being a victim is exhausting and it burns you out because you don't have a solution to that. But when you take responsibility, now you have all the solutions. Remember, you can only change things that you are responsible for. Make sense? If you blame your genetics, if you blame other people, if you blame your parents, you can't do anything about that because that's their fault. Yes? Can you go back and teach your parents how to parent you better? No, you can't do anything about that. But if you take responsibility, then you can actually change. Many studies have been done and that show this. People who take responsibility feel more in control. And people who feel more in control have a happier life. When you feel like you have more control over your destiny, you're much happier than you don't. Does that make sense? Doubts. And here's another one. Slow recovery. Look, we all have moments where we're negative. I even have them to this day where I have moments where I get negative. Question is, how long do you stay negative? Make sense? If you have slow recovery time, you're not going to be able to avoid burnout. You're going to accelerate it. Because if every little thing takes hours and days to get over, it's very difficult. Your ability to forgive not only yourself, but other people is a huge, huge factor in how you avoid burnout. Have you guys noticed Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, they never get injured? LeBron James never gets injured. Do you think that's an accident? Are they just lucky? I'm telling you, they have the perfect diet, perfect sleep regimen. They have the perfect exercise routine. They do the perfect. That's why they avoid injuries. What I'm teaching you is to avoid injuries. One of the reasons you're getting burnt out is because you have slow recovery time, meaning you don't get over things fast enough. One of the greatest things that I did for my life that has increased my happiness tremendously and that has made me so much more productive is I forgave everyone. Ask me who I hate, 0 people. Ask me who in my life I blame for anything, 0 people. Because I made amends with everyone. Anyone who I ever thought. And let me share something with you. For the longest time, I wouldn't do this. You know why? I was scared. I thought that chip that I was holding on my shoulder was the thing that was motivating me. So I thought if I forgive my bullies, if I forgive these people, then am I gonna still be motivated? That used to be my thought. I thought that's where my motivation came from. I thought that's where my drive came from. So I was scared of changing because I didn't know what was gonna happen on the other end. But one day I hit rock bottom, thank God. And I'm like, well, my life sucks anyways. Who cares if I become a monk? That's what I was scared of. I'm like, what if I go and forgive everyone and I don't want to do anything? So then I went to work and I forgave everyone. And guess what happened? I was more motivated than I ever was. You know what happens when you forgive people? That backpack that you have filled with rocks gets put down. Some of you are burnt out because you're walking around life like this. And there's a lot of weight on there. Your parents, your exes, your friends, and it keeps getting added on. Person looks at you the wrong way, oh shit. Oh, like Nima says something at a session, oh, I hate Nima too now, everyone. And if somebody walks around like this all day, you surprised if they have back pain? Some people have mental fatigue because they're walking around with this big bag and they won't put it down. You might be the smartest person, the most talented person. You will never win a race with that big bag on your back. Make sense? So here's the step. You gotta start taking the rocks out. Some rocks are harder, some rocks are easier. Start with the easy ones, okay? Forgive me first. Nima said something, I'm offended. Okay, put that down. Okay, and then keep going. Keep going until you get to the heavy rocks. But I'm telling you, the lighter you get, the easier life becomes. Some of you are just way too heavy with all the rocks you got on your back. Forgive others. And let me tell you, you know how you forgive other people? By forgiving yourself. You cannot sell what you're not sold on, yes or no? You gotta forgive yourself before you can forgive other people. You gotta look back on all the mistakes you've made, and we've all made mistakes, and you gotta forgive yourself. You gotta make amends. Once you learn to forgive you, you can forgive other people. Once you learn to love you, you can love other people. This is not a motivational speech. This is not like a kumbaya type of message. You know I'm not a kumbaya type of guy. Okay? But I'm telling you, some people give a lot of hate because all they have within is hate. And I feel bad for those people. I'm not putting them down. But if you learn to forgive yourself and love yourself, it's a lot easier to do it with other people. Okay? But forgive yourself and move on much faster. Here's the next thing, external drama. Okay? We talked about crises, right? This is the crisis section. We already talked about how to overcome the crisis. But let me add to it. Don't feed it, because if you feed it, you keep attracting it. Anyone here always have drama? You're not gonna raise your hand, I know you're not. So let's just think about it yourself. Any of you deal with drama a lot? If the answer is yes, you're attracting the drama. But you don't get it, Nima, it's their fault. That's why you're having the drama. I'm telling you, you attract what you resist. Does that make sense? You attract that which you hate. You know who has the most drama in their life? People who hate drama. If you're ever in conversation with someone and say, oh my God, I hate drama, they freaking get so much drama in their life. Because let me tell you why this is true. How could they hate something that they don't experience? So they must have a lot of drama, that's why they hate it. Right? Look, if there's certain foods that I don't like and I don't eat them, I don't eat them. So I don't deal with them that often, so I don't even hate them. But if you have something that comes all the time, so when people say I hate drama, you can tell they've had a lot of drama in their life. Make sense? Now, hate is a form of energy, just like love is. Does that make sense? There's a vibrational frequency with love and hate. Both of them are great attractors. So when you hate something, you attract more of it. And when you love something, you attract more of it. Make sense? So whatever you hate in your life seems to never go away. Would you agree? You hate your financial situation, doesn't seem to get better. You hate your relationship, doesn't seem to get better. You hate your business, doesn't seem to get better. Isn't that weird? Okay, it's because you attract it. But if you learn to let it go, to move on from it, it becomes a lot easier. And let me share something with you. In life, you do have to pick some battles, but there's only a few battles you have to pick. Get good at picking battles. One of the mistakes that I was making for a long time was I was picking battles with everyone. Why? Because I was someone that was in a habit of getting into conflict since I was a kid. Right? So conflict was my comfort zone. Anytime I didn't have enough conflict, I'm like, oh, I should go say something to someone. You're weird, fight, let's go. I'm telling you, because I had a habit of it. But learn to move on from that and change, and it becomes a lot easier. Here's another big one. This is actually the biggest one. Not taking enough breaks or not resting when you do. Let me share something with you. This is not about just taking a day off, okay? I'm gonna go with that first. But here's the thing. You need to take at least one day a week off. Even in the Bible, Jesus says, take the 7th day off. Take the Sunday off. Okay, if Jesus could take the Sunday off and still do what he did, I think he can take a Sunday off and still build a business. Right, I'm telling you, because that guy spread a message that's still spreading to this day. Yes or no? Okay, so that you cannot deny that Jesus Christ achieved something phenomenal because we're still talking about him to this day. Yes or no? Yeah. He still has many believers and followers. I don't care what religion you follow. I'm just speaking facts right now. Okay, he still only works 6 days. The biggest mistake that I made my first 2 years in business, I worked 7 days a week. And here's what happens when you work 7 days a week. When you're thinking, I'm trading time for money, you think, great, I'm working more than my competition. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather work at 50% of capacity? Martin, would you rather work at 50% of capacity for 7 days or 100% of capacity for 6 days? Which one is more effective? When I come here, beyond what I'm saying, I'm transferring a certain level of energy. If I come here exhausted, can I transfer that energy? You are in the people business. You know what people need to do? They need to transfer energy. Make sense? If it doesn't transfer the right energy, okay, she's not gonna get the right results. Am I correct? How can you transfer positive energy if you're burnt out and exhausted all the time? But here's the key. It's not about just setting the day to take the day off, but actually take the day off, okay? When that bully knocks on the door and wants to come in, be like, for today, please just leave. I'll deal with you on Monday, right? Like today, just don't remind me that I'm a loser. Come back on Monday, we can have a conversation about it. But actually take the day off, because here's what some people do. They take a day off and you know what they do all day? Stress, worry, doubt, fears, anxious. Here's my recommendation. On your day off, do a lot of fun things. Go on a hike, play video games if you like video games. Some of you I shouldn't play video games because I get too stressed out when I play video games. Right? But my point is that do something fun that takes your mind off of everything. If you take a day off and just sit at home and stare at the wall, you know what's gonna come and find you? Your bully. Hey, it looks like you have some time today. Just wanted to remind you, you're a loser. I hate you. Everyone hates you, right? But when you're playing golf, it's usually not there, right? When you're with your friends playing bowling, it's not there. So here's my recommendation to you. The same way you plan your day of your Monday, plan your Sunday. Make sense? And here's the plan. I'm gonna have fun today. I'm gonna take some time off and I'm gonna enjoy myself. Cool? Okay. Here's the next thing. And this is huge. This is the one that once I learned this, I could work 14 hours a day and my energy. Some of you who know, you get a call from me at 10 p.m. and I'm still pumped up. You're probably like, what the hell is this? This is why. I learned to take little breaks in the day. Learn to take little breaks in the day. Let me explain to you something. In order for you to be very productive, and I talked about this in my recent video on work ethic, you need to get into flow state. Flow state is a state where you're focused, where you're zoned in, and you can get something that would usually take 3 hours done in an hour. Make sense? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? In order to get into a flow state, you need to be very focused. So here's what I recommend to people. Have certain tasks that need to be done by a certain time and don't go on your phone until they're done. But here's what you should do. Have certain tasks. If your phone is not required, put your phone in a different room. Once the tasks are done, you reward yourself by going on your phone. Make sense? Here's what I started doing. I schedule my social media time because I got in a habit of like checking my phone all the time. So I schedule it now. And until the alarm goes off, I don't check social media. Make sense? These are good habits to get you in flow state. But here's the main thing here. In order to stay in flow state, you need to take many breaks. In order to stay in flow state, you need to take many breaks. So here's what I do. In between meetings, I'll take 5 minutes and I'll do some breathing exercises. Maybe I'll do some push-ups. Maybe I go for a walk. Maybe I take a minute and I go read something really quick. 5 minutes, nothing more. And then I go into my next meeting. That 5-minute pause helps me refresh. Does that make sense? Then I go into the next meeting, then another 5-minute pause. Little breaks in the day maintain your energy throughout the day. Here's another thing you can try if you're really struggling with this. Do a quick workout exercise in the middle of your day. If you're really struggling with burnout, here's what I recommend. 3 times a day, do 10-minute exercises. Go on YouTube, do a circuit for 10 minutes, do it in your house, and then get back in your meetings. This will keep your energy levels high. But taking little breaks, Brendan Bouchard talks about this, recalibration. Recalibrating throughout the day keeps you fresh for the whole day, okay? Here's another big one. Take care of your health. Nothing will burn you out quicker than not getting enough sleep for a long period of time. And you know what a long period of time is? 3 days. If 3 days in a row you're not getting enough sleep, you will be burnt out. Get good sleep. And good sleep isn't just about hours, it's about quality of sleep. Does that make sense? Make sure you eat the right foods. If you're always bloated, I remember there was a time where I was eating very bad foods and I was bloated all the time. I had digestion problems all the time and it was very difficult for me to stay focused. And all those health problems, guess what they did? They kept making me get burnt out faster and faster and faster because I was using all my willpower trying to get over my health issues instead of staying focused on my business. So get enough sleep and have a good diet that keeps your digestive system in a good state. Here's another thing. Take time to plan the day. You ever feel overwhelmed? Anyone here ever feel overwhelmed? Okay. The reason you feel overwhelmed is because you keep everything up here and nothing on paper. Learn to put things on paper. If you feel like you're getting overwhelmed all the time, here's why. You're making a mountain out of a what? Molehill. Thank you. I pretended like it was part of the training, but I didn't know what it was. I forgot. Thank you for reminding me. But don't make a mountain out of a molehill, right? But it's easy to do that when everything's on your mind. Have you ever had those days where like, oh my God, I have so much to do tomorrow. I have so much to do tomorrow. Have you ever had that day? Okay, here's what you need to do immediately. Take a pen and paper, take out your phone, and write down all the things you have to do for tomorrow. And you know what you're gonna find? It's like 3 things. Sometimes it's 5 things. And then you know what you do when you look at that list? Oh, I don't have that much to do tomorrow. Good. And then your anxiety goes down. And then you're calm. And then you can have a good night's sleep. And then you wake up the next day and you handle it very well. And you do that over and over again, you're gonna have a very good life. But get in the habit of doing to-do lists. And I've had times before where I woke up in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. And I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do today. And I'm like, shoot, I forgot to do my to-do list. So at 4 a.m. I go, take out paper and write it down. I'm like, honestly, I can get probably 3 of these things done in the next 30 minutes. And then I do those things and I go back to sleep. And I sleep like a baby. Like, nice, good, I'm done. I've done everything for tomorrow. I don't even need to wake up. Sometimes some of you will get a message from me at 3:50. I got anxiety and I woke up in the middle of the night and I'm getting some stuff done before I go to sleep. But the point that I'm making is that only happens to me when I don't do a to-do list for the next day and I start overthinking and getting myself overwhelmed. Get in the habit of writing a to-do list. Is that okay? Awesome. Here's another thing that I would tell you to do. Never say, I have so much to do tomorrow. Never say, I'm so overwhelmed. Because what that does is it keeps recreating the problem in your mind. As soon as that thought comes to your mind, put everything away, get a list, write the to-do list, and get real with what you have going on. And these things will help you avoid burnout. And the ones that I talk about, taking little breaks, will help you overcome it. Now, if you're in a situation where you're burnt out, you're like, Nima, this is all great, but I'm already burnt out. Here's what you need to do. Take 3 days off in a row. I'm telling you, take 3 days off in a row, and in those 3 days, do something fun. Go camp. Here's the best thing to do, in my opinion. Go camping. You know why? Because there's no phone service. So even if you want, that's my solution. I went camping recently. You know why? Because I'm like, I can't be around my phone anymore. Does that make sense? But if that doesn't work for you, do something else. Take 3 days off in a row, and in those 3 days, have some fun, get refreshed, and then take one of those days, ideally the last day, and sit there and reorganize your life. Review your goals again, review your whys again, review your challenges, review your solutions, maybe do the process of overcoming a crisis again. And then I promise you, you'll get back into it and you're fresh. But here's the key. When you get back into it, take action on all the things that I talked about so you can avoid getting burnt out again. And make sure you take at least 1 day a week off, ideally Sundays. And I would recommend every 3 months, take a 3-day break, 3 days in a row. Every 3 months, if you need more, maybe every 2 months, 3 days off in a row, you just do fun things, relax, get refreshed, and come back. I promise you, you will not lose in business if you take a couple days off. But you will lose in business if you get burnt out and give negative energy instead of positive energy to people you communicate with. Does that make sense? Yes. Awesome. Did you enjoy the session? Yeah.